Welcome to Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host. Of course, you know where we are. We know what day it is. It's Tuesday. But you know, I keep mentioning that we actually film on a Tuesday at the Peppermill Lounge in Las Vegas, obviously. But you really don't get the recordings. You get them every different day because we put them up in all different days. But we'd always record every Tuesday at the Peppermill. So if you want to come down and see us live, here we are. Now, I have David Osborne with me. I have known David. We were just trying to work out how long we've known each other. And we worked it out. It's like 20 years.
At least 20 years.
At least 20 years.
Yes.
Now, the reason we know each other that long is because I used to come, actually with my husband then, because you knew my husband.
Yes, I did.
And we used to come into the lounge because you play that beautiful corner lounge when you walk into the Bellagio. Absolutely incredible.
Yes. And I was at Caesars for 14 years before that. I think I might have seen you
met
there.
you at 14. Where were you?
Yeah.
Where were you?
At the Palace Court at Caesars
Of
Palace.
course I know
Yeah.
the Palace Court. We went there for dinner for years.
Yes,
there.
beautiful.
Oh no, I'm not going to say the date because then I'm dating myself. So it's a few years ago, you know. Both of us, right?
Yeah, we don't recall.
But so you're kind of an icon in Las Vegas because you've kind of been through all the changes, actually.
A lot of the changes.
A lot of the changes. Now, obviously, you were old school at Caesars before they built everything up because they were.
Yes.
You weren't there when Cliff Perlman was there, were you? He was the original owner.
No, I started in 1995.
1995.
Yeah.
And then you went over to the Bellagio.
I was there until 2007 and then went over to the Bellagio.
Fabulous. So you're kind of an icon. So what was it like then than it is now? What's the big difference?
Between Caesars then
Caesars and, even Vegas itself.
Well, the whole town's changed in the last 10 years, but in 25 years, it's completely changed. I mean, everything's different. We have a lot of different rules, which we had basically no rules back then.
I'm just going to say, basically, you barely had a contract. You would barely have any contract.
Well, I did have a contract. I had Johnny Haig, who was the Frank Sinatra side band director that auditioned me with 200 other keyboard players in the time, and I got that job. We had a contract, but it was kind of like you can do anything you want to do as long as you don't get caught.
But now it's totally different, isn't it?
Now we got a lot of rules.
So the rules, but they don't really stop you from what you're doing because you're so,
The Bellagio is wonderful to me. They let me do my touring and recording, and they're fantastic.
Now, when you talk about your touring, apparently you were just over to see Jimmy Carter.
I do his birthday party every year for 35 years since he was
35 years. So you were with him before he was president?
Well, right after he was president, and then he, I don't like to use the word hook me up, but he hooked me up with all the other presidents. So I've played 75 gigs at the White House following his
75 gigs.
Because when he was president, I was 17, but and then I do all his Habitat for Humanity, any type of benefit, recording, performing. I do that for him.
You do that for him as well.
Yeah.
You obviously, he likes you, you like him. So it's kind of a bit of a bond there. And
yes.
That seems to be the case of it's not really what you know, it's who you know sometimes. But you build up that lovely bond with him.
And he recently said of all the musicians he's
worked with,
Horowitz was one of them that he thinks he likes my playing better, so.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
But you are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, often at the Bellagio, I would go and sit on the seat with you, and I would just sit
I know.
there. I would sit there and just listen to you playing.
Everybody would wonder who that attractive blonde
who was that blonde? But I used to try to sing along, but I really don't have a singing voice, but sometimes I pretend I do. So anyway, you've also you were with Clinton as well, weren't you?
I was with him. I played for the Bushes, the Obamas, the Clintons, and the other Bushes.
And what about Trump? Have you played for Trump
I
yet?
did on December 15th.
December 15th?
I did.
And what was that like? Because this is, obviously, I was going to say new president, but he's going into his 4th year now.
Well, the White House is still the White House, and I just noticed the decorations were a little different with Melania doing it. It was beautiful. I enjoyed my time there.
Because she kind of brought in a European touch.
A little bit, and then I play that Franklin Delano Roosevelt Steinway. I'm a Steinway artist, and I'm actually the only Steinway artist in the state of Nevada, which is endorsed by Steinway and Sons. It sounds like a lot of players, but actually there's only 900 players worldwide that they endorse.
Really?
Yes,
So you
and
just learned something. See, there's always room to learn.
yeah, just because somebody plays a Steinway piano does not make them a Steinway artist. There's a lot of things they basically have to choose you to be
I
a
was going to
Steinway
say,
artist.
you have to do certain things
Yes.
to actually use their piano, to put their piano up there better than...
That's right.
I don't want to say better than anybody else's, but to put it up there because then it becomes Steinway.
And they don't pay it. They don't pay Billy Joel. They don't pay me anything other than when I
But
do.
you have the privilege and you have
Yeah.
that name.
And the new thing they have out is called Steinway Stereo, which is the player's Steinway. And so I go to New York City and record on stereo, and then anybody that has a stereo Steinway around the world can play me. Like you could walk into any Steinway dealership
Yeah.
and say, I want to hear David Osborne. Right now I'm their number one played Steinway stereo artist. So.
My friend, I can't believe this. I mean,
And
you
the
must
piano
be
plays it exactly like I play it.
Like you
Yeah.
play it. They pick up because that's one of those things you can put in. You put the recording in, or how?
Well,
how does that work?
it's on a YouTube. It's on it's on an iPad.
Yeah.
And the person that buys the stereo gets an iPad.
Yeah.
And they never pay any more for additional artists that continue to add to the library catalog thing. Okay, they never pay any more for that, and
Yeah.
they get everything that's recorded at that point, and no software, just
Nothing.
an iPad and the Steinway, and that's how it works.
And that's how it works. So you know how the whole thing works.
Right, and the R stereo, I can actually record on that person's piano. I teach in Denver, and my friend there, Alda Metzger, has the Steinway BR, which is the B Steinway, and she has the recording thing in her piano.
I'm
So it's-
learning so much about all this, and the piano happens to be my favorite instrument. And my mother used to play the piano, and I always remember she was a classical player, though. And you know, Beethoven's Moonlight Concerto she used to play for me, which is one of my favorites, but I think it's the world favorite anyway.
Right.
Now, you said you're going to get an award soon, or you're going to be indoctrinated, or something.
Well, my native home state is Oklahoma. I did my master's at Indiana University, and I did master classes in Juilliard in New York City. And
So you knew when you went to university, you were going to be in the performing arts.
Oh yeah, I knew that since I was 5 years old.
Since you were, so you started playing when
I was
you're
5.
probably one of these geniuses that played at 5 years old.
I don't know. I felt like the piano chose me instead of me choosing the piano. I heard it and
Really?
I fell in love with the sound of it at church. There's a little Baptist church in Oklahoma.
It's not he
So-
reversed the situation.
Yeah.
Rather than going to the piano came to you.
It did. I couldn't get it off my
I
mind.
love
and
that.
So, my recordings with Greenhill and Nashville have sold 15 million copies now. And
I didn't know all this. All I did was go to the Bellagio, sit there with my friend, and listen to music. I never knew anything about this.
I was concentrating on you,
That's what I like.
And so the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame is going to induct me on April the 4th. Garth Brooks has sent his best wishes. May come.
Garth Brooks?
Garth
Oh,
Brooks.
he's
Yeah, he's from
amazing.
Oklahoma.
He's from Oklahoma as
yeah,
well.
he's also Oklahoma, and
Is this all happening in Vegas?
it's going to be in Miami, Oklahoma, at the Coleman Theater.
It's going to be, so you're obviously going to be there.
And they're changing my street I grew up on to David Osborne Drive. That was a
So
surprise.
you're kind of making where you come from, Oklahoma, it's kind of making it into a Las Vegas.
Well,
Streets named after you.
we're the home of Mickey Mantle, guy that you probably never heard of, played baseball.
Yes, I know Mickey Mantle. Funny, I do know that. I don't know much about sports.
Me neither. I mean,
Also,
and
we both can help each other.
Steve Owens, who was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yes.
He's from there. And Stephen Cassidy Gaines with the Leonard Skinner Band.
Okay.
They were killed in that crash, unfortunately.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
They have a street named after them. So, I was really surprised they're doing that for me. I didn't
I'm
ask
not
for that.
surprised because for what you've put and what you've given to the world, because now we have the internet and we have all this going on, you can now give your talent to the world. And I think when somebody has a talent, whatever the talent may be, is let the world enjoy your talent. Let them,
Exactly. With all the things we have, YouTube's, we have Spotify, which I have 750,000 views a month on Spotify.
Wow.
Pandora, all that stuff is
So how many
fantastic.
viewers do you have in all?
Well, 6 million views on YouTube, 24,000 subscribers, and then on Spotify it goes from 250,000 to 750,000 a month every
Wow,
day. Those
so-
are views, and so.
Okay, so
it's
let me
bigger
ask you a
Christmas, but-
question. Let me ask you a
okay.
question. So, how do you maintain keeping it up with 2020? Because you started, in 1990s, around that area, and now you're able to keep up with the modern music and what people, because it's so different now, the music.
I know. Well,
so how do you do that?
What I do is I have 4 kids. I have 2 kids that
I'm really loving. Yeah. You've got 4 kids.
So they keep me, Dad. You got to learn the song by
Well,
Maroon 5.
how old are these kids?
Well, I have a 15-year-old, I have a 10-year-old,
I have a 28-year-old and a 33-year-old. So
This guy's been around, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's more than one wife, isn't it?
That's 2 wives.
2 wives, and the
wives.
present wife is the 10-year-old.
That's
and
right,
the
the
15-year-old.
yeah.
How fabulous!
You're very smart. You're smarter than I.
He didn't think I was smart.
I knew you were smart, but
No, not that
you're like
smart.
psychic.
You don't know what I'm thinking right now.
What are you? A 5th child? No. We're not going there, David. Believe me.
But you scare me
or
or something. You know exactly what I'm going to say.
I know exactly what you're going to do. Anyway, nothing like a good laugh. Do you know why we stay so young? Because we laugh a lot.
We have to laugh.
Well, we have to laugh because if something really bad happens, you've got to laugh about it because if it's that bad, it's funny.
Because the alternative is crying about it. And I
We're
don't do
not
that.
going to cry. We're not
Yeah.
going to cry.
But the kids keep me abreast of the
Yes.
new music. You got to learn Memories by Maroon 5 or, Clocks by Coldplay. So I immediately listen to the chart. I listen to the performance on YouTube. I buy the chart on musicnotes.com on the iPad.
Yes.
And I sit and play along with the original artist. I have 3 concert
So you
bands
have
in
it
my
playing
life.
over here, then you play it yourself.
Yes,
and
and-
kind of keep up with it so that you can get into the piece of music.
Exactly. That's how I learn the nuances, and I kind of make it my own arrangement after that.
And then so you can put a few of your notes in, which she does all the time. And in anything you play, you put your own little chords and things in there.
That's right, my own
and
deal.
And you think you've kind of missed what he's playing, and then all of a sudden he brings it back in again. So, I'm still there, but you give it that love sort of taste, that sort of
I do.
that new ambiance and that new feeling.
I'll blend like Elton John, your song with Clocks by Coldplay, and I like to do that because
So do you think that is kind of your avenue or your place where it kind of made you different to everybody else and kind of put you,
I think
because
so.
you're not afraid to do it?
Not afraid to do it, and I use classical technique, obviously with a master's in music. I use classical technique not only in piano but pipe organ. I have a liturgical degree in that. I use that technique.
A pipe organ?
Liturgical pipe organ, classical.
So from Indiana University.
I'm not saying anything because I don't know what you're talking
But
about.
I use all the technique on the piano, so it works perfectly.
So it works perfectly for you.
Yeah.
So as you say, the piano came to you and now you're using it. That's a beautiful way of putting it because we always have to go to things.
It
Well,
chose me. I
sometimes.
feel like in church I heard the pianist looking
That's
at
it.
I'm like, Mom, I want to make my living playing the piano. She says,
Any
Well,
of
you
your
can't do
children?
that.
Typical parent, because you've got to
You can't
be
do that.
a
What else are you
doctor, a
gonna do?
lawyer.
Yeah.
You've got to do something that's
Yeah, you-
definitely going to be there.
exactly, you got to
Yeah.
do one of those other things.
My
So-
son is not going to be playing the piano. In the meantime, you're brilliant and you're absolutely wonderful. What
Thank
would you, on closing out, what would you like to say to the younger generation of how you kind of got from A to B and Z and everything?
My biggest thing is for younger kids. In fact, I have one of my students with me from New Jersey who flew out for lessons. I say to kids, never give up on your dream. Don't let other people tell you you can't succeed because they will. They will discourage you, and don't let that happen. You keep plowing ahead, practicing, doing what you need to do, and then expect things to happen for you, and it will. It will happen.
And I think on another like to mention is that sometimes if you want to be a lawyer, sometimes you're not going to be the best lawyer. There's the same thing, because there's the great musicians and the ones that haven't made it. There's also the great lawyers and the ones that haven't made it. So I think that's in every single thing we go through. But we always seem to turn around and say in the entertainment business, oh, it's tough and it's hard. They're all tough and they're all hard. I don't care what you go into. It's how much you put into it and how different you can be. And you became very different with your music. And I don't think you were ever afraid, were you?
No, and I've done a lot of playing for Celine Dion and her private playing in Palace Court, where I met you the first
Yes.
time with your husband. And she once made the statement to me that success is at the intersection of opportunity and talent. A lot of people have talent and no opportunity.
Correct.
They have opportunity and no talent. But if they have the two
And at the intersection of that is success.
Yes.
So-
And move forward.
And move forward.
And move forward. Keep going up that
And don't
road.
take no for an answer.
Don't take no for an answer. I just love it. David, you've been amazing. And you can see him at the Bellagio. When are you performing there next?
I'm there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights now from 8 till 12:45 in the
Oh, that's a
beautiful
long
new
time.
Petrosian. You have to see the Petrosian. They've done it over. The whole hotel is magnificent. They've done beautiful things. The Mayfair Dine. Oh my God.
Oh, well, I've got to go to.
Oh, you have
You've got
to
to
go.
take me when you have
Yeah,
your break.
let's do
And when
that.
I come to the Bellagio,
Yeah.
I want you to take me to the Mayflower because number one, it's an English name. You remember the Mayflower, the boat, the Mayflower landed in.
But this is actually the Mayfair.
Oh, the Mayfair.
But,
okay.
But it is spectacular.
I want to go because everybody's
will-
talking about it. So you've got to
It's-
take me up
It's
there.
fabulous. They're flipping back to the 30s, 40s, 50s. You know,
Oh,
look,
I
I
love
always
that
wanted
better.
this to happen to Vegas. And I was telling my boss, Angela South, over there with entertainment, she's absolutely incredible and very meticulous. Everything's perfect with her. And what they've done is just incredible. You have to go to see that Mayfair.
I'm going to go with you.
We'll go, and
We'll
you got to
go.
come and have a drink at the
I hope
Petrosian, too.
I will. I'm definitely coming in. I'm going to come in there and I'm going to
I know.
let you know I'm still around and I'm still doing what I'm doing.
And you look so much younger and more beautiful now.
Well,
than
I've decided that I'm going the other way. I'm not going older, I'm going younger. So, but with people like you that keep, encouraging me, which they do, it just makes me feel so
But you
good.
look fabulous.
He's amazing. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with me, Ninon. Take care. If you enjoyed the last show we just did and all the other shows, don't forget to subscribe Vegas Live with Ninon on YouTube. We've got plenty more coming up and our guests are amazing. So don't forget to subscribe. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.